Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Today, a new update went live for Borderlands 3. It's not as big as the previous updates, but it does change around FL4K a little bit, as was Moze, so I figured I should make a video discussing it here today. FL4K, of course, has been my main character since the very beginning of the game, and today they changed around one of his action skills, two of his talents, and they changed around how his pet works, so let's go ahead and start things off by talking about that. The action skill Rack Attack now has a 100% chance to cause a status effect on the target, assuming of course they could be damaged by fire. The reason why they're doing this is because so many people, even after the nerfs, are still only using Fade Away as their action skill, and Gearbox's idea is they're trying to make all builds viable for every single Vault Hunter, right? And because of this, they're nerfing a number of things in the game. They've nerfed a number of things already, and they're nerfing even more things in the future, and so what they've done here today is, while they've also nerfed Fade Away in a previous update, they're buffing up Rack Attack to try to get people to use that one a little bit more. And for me personally, I'm a big fan of Rack Attack already, so the fact that it now has a 100% chance to set the target on fire is a pretty awesome addition. The talent Leave No Trace. This is a very good ability. Pretty much every FL4K seems to be taking this particular talent. It now has a re-trigger delay of 2 seconds. This means if you're hitting an enemy with a crit and you do get this to proc, like it does put ammo back in your magazine, there's going to be a 2-second delay before when it can actually happen again. Now, this is obviously a nerf to FL4K. The reason why I think they're doing this is because this talent is ridiculously good, and especially on boss fights, and especially with the Fade Away action skill, people are just never having to reload. They're just melting bosses constantly, and so what they're doing here is they're adding a bit more gameplay to FL4K by making it so he doesn't get this proc nearly as much. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit, as well as Twitter, who are upset with this. So many people just do not want them to nerf anything whatsoever. For me personally, I'm okay with it so far. I'm okay with the idea that they want more builds to become more viable, and part of that is nerfing the things that are ridiculously good, right? If you go back to Borderlands 2, for example, a lot of the Vault Hunters had maybe a couple of builds they could go with, but by and large, there was one really good build that every Vault Hunter had that you kind of felt like you had to play if you wanted to be successful, especially when playing with other players. Now, obviously, the argument is, who cares? It's a single-player / co-op game. What's wrong with having one OP build as long as it actually works, right? Well, I think the hope here for Gearbox is they want everything to be good. Maybe not wildly overpowered, but have everything be good so that you're not so much limited by your talents, but rather how you play with those talents and how you play with certain weapons, and here in Borderlands 3, of course, certain anointments and things like that. They're trying to add a bit more gameplay to the mix. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to pay off. There's definitely a lot of people that are kicking back against this, but yeah, Leave No Trace has been nerfed and now has a re-trigger delay of 2 seconds. Next up, we have Barbaric Whop, which originally, once you 5 out of 5'd it, would increase your pet bonuses that are given to you as FL4K by 100%. Well, that's been increased by 100%, so now it's 200%. So hopefully more people are going to want to take that talent, and hopefully it's also as well going to encourage more people to build into the idea of a pet-focused FL4K as compared to only building into a crit-focused FL4K. Now, speaking of pets, pets will no longer push around player characters, which, thank freaking goodness, I am so happy that's finally happened. A lot of people are saying that they should make it so you can just dismiss your pet, or make it so you can command your pet to go stand in a certain area, kind of similar to the hunters in World of Warcraft, but it appears that right now that's not going to be on the menu. What they're going to be doing is making it so your pets will no longer bump you around, which is super frustrating, and they've also made it so that the touch pet prompt now has a lower priority. So if your pet does happen to walk in front of you while you're trying to use a vending machine or a slot machine or things like that, it's going to focus and prioritize on the vending machine or the slot machine as compared to petting your doggo. That's pretty much it for FL4K. The next changes have been made to Moze, and I actually have some crazy footage of this because I watch a live streamer named Blame Truth all the time, and when he streams Borderlands 3, he plays as Moze, and as you guys can see, he's constantly regenerating grenades. It's actually pretty absurd. Like, these guys, he and XCal, they're just running around and they're killing bosses by pretty much only throwing grenades. Well, That's not going to be happening anymore. This is another thing that people are complaining to Gearbox about. They're nerfing things, right? And so Moze is no longer going to be able to have infinite grenades because her talent, Means of Destruction, just like what we saw with Flak, now has a retrigger delay of 2 seconds. Grenades will still come back quite frequently, but they will not be unlimited like in the footage that you guys are seeing right now. Those are the big changes that happened today to both Flak as well as Moze, but you guys will be happy to know that if you've been building into the Enforcer tree with your Guardian ranks, you'll be happy to know that Hollow Point is once again back, and they fixed it. It no longer damages you or your allies, and allies includes pets, so definitely pretty nice there. On top of that, they've had a number of bug fixes. I'll put the bug fixes on your screen right now. I don't feel as though I should sit here and just cover every single tiny minute bug fix, but yeah, the Glamour skill for Amara, for example, now actually works. I've heard a number of abilities for Amara haven't been working as intended, so hopefully they will get around to fixing that. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is today's update. Those are the changes to Amara, Moze, as well as Flak, and Hollow Point is now once again back, which is definitely some pretty good news. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts and feedback on today's changes down there in the comments, and specifically, what do you think about Gearbox Software nerfing so many things about Borderlands 3? If you think about it, they've nerfed a lot of things, everything from legendary drops to different talents and abilities that the different Vault Hunters have. They seem to be nerfing a lot of things. They've also buffed up a number of weapons. I think the idea is they want to make it so all the different talent trees that you can go with are viable, but you're going to maybe want to pick the best one for that particular situation, and from there you're going to have to further customize your character by using things like the right class mod, the right relics, the right shields, and especially the right weapons, given the fact that there are so many of them out there, and anointments are also randomly generated on some of them as well. So there's definitely a lot to consider here. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Thank you guys all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.